Let's get to know the artist behind the epic melodies, songs, and beats. Celebrating the best new music from around the world. This is the A State of Trance podcast.
Hey, what's up? My name is Ruben Ronde and welcome to a new A State of Trance podcast. And today we have a very special guest, actually from the Netherlands, from Zoetermeer, Sweet Lake City. How are you doing? Hollt, Jeffrey.
Hey, I'm doing good.
It's good to have you finally.
Yeah,
after all these years. We've been big fans of your music since, I would say, the first time I heard of you was Collido.
Yeah, I remember. It was, I think, Keon, your guy here, introduced my music to you at first. And then afterwards, I think I received a video of A State. Was it at the Jaarbeurs, I think?
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah, where Armin played the
warm-up set.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
Well, let's start at the beginning because I think a lot of listeners are maybe not familiar to Hollt, to yourself, because you're in the melodic techno or progressive scene, I would say. Let's start at the very first beginning. What made you fall in love with dance music? That's the first question I always like to hear.
Ooh.
Do you still remember hearing dance music? You're like, okay, this is it.
Well, actually, for me, it's the combination of an epic low end, like the bass, which is feeling in your whole body, and then the melodic part on top of it. Like this combination gives me like the goosebumps, and also I need to, I need to feel it, and that's what makes the music for me count.
What made it? How far do you go back in your life that you were like, okay, this is dance music. This is what I want to do. Do you still remember hearing that very special track that made you fall in love with dance music?
Well, I'm not sure if it's like a special track, but it was more of a feeling for me. Like we went out with friends, and actually back then I was making a different kind of music, and then I did the conservatory, and then I found out like, okay, I want something which is more relatable to my feeling and to something which I really like. And then I went to some more parties. At first, it was like the Dale Howard sound. We went to Woesa, which is a place near The Hague, and we went
Scheveningen.
to and we went to Sandeep, his night, also at the Toffler, and Miss Malera was playing there as well. And then actually, I fell in love with it. And my friends already told me like, you need to listen to this sound because it's beautiful. It's more to the feeling. It's more embraceable. And and that was the moment for me when I started to make this kind of music.
Because you say that you already went to the conservatory when you fell in love with dance music, but what made you decide to go to that school to learn more about music?
Yeah, actually, I was on a different kind of school at first. I went more like the designer way, designing like websites and stuff. And then later on, I because my parents they had some money, or invested in me, and then at a certain time the money was gone. So because the prices of school here in the Netherlands can be pretty high, and then at a certain point I found out like, okay, now I need to pay myself. Am I doing the good thing at the moment? Because, this designer stuff, I already know it. So I wanted to do something which was more relatable to what I really wanted to do. And for me, that moment was special because I had to convince my parents, like, okay, I'm going to shift school.
Here we go. Yeah.
And and then I applied for the conservatory, which is basically... You have like two sides, like the Pop Academy, which is known for bands like piano and singers. But you also have like a different subject, which is called the electronic musician, e-music. And this study is for 4 years. And I applied. I think I had to do 3 or 4 theses or tests.
Yeah, because it's really hard to get into the school, right?
Yeah, actually there were more than, back then, 400 people who applied, and only 14 of them.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you met a lot of people, and that for me was very moving. Like
Because now I follow a few students that are really well on doing really well on the Heronbro Academy.
Yeah.
And now you see that there's I think like 50 or 60 graduates just this year.
Yeah.
And they're all going into dance music. I'm like, holy shit. There's no space for all these musicians, but I guess a few of them will really succeed.
Well, the thing is, because of you're on this school, like the Heronbro, for example, when I was on the conservatory in Haarlem.
Yeah.
One of my classmates was Jesse, he's from another. And there are Lucas and Steve were there on school. But the thing is that the level you have over there, because you're competing with your peers, sort of.
Yeah.
And every time you go home, you want to do better, or it's a healthy competition.
Yeah.
For me at the moment, like sometimes I miss those days because you have this. The collaboration. with your peers.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and you have healthy conversations about the music industry I was there, I think 2 years ago, and the level of the productions are wow.
Yeah.
And when they are done, well, probably now there are a few of people now graduated, but still now I meet some people and they're like, you were from the conservatory, right? And then we have a conversation. And
I had the pleasure, I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, to help out some of the graduate. I think that's how you say it, with projects, because they had to do a final project. They had to do singer-songwriting for an artist. So I think it was in Holland, they contacted me if I could be a judge, and also that these people had to write music for myself.
Cool.
So suddenly you had all these pop music writers or rock music writers that had the challenge to write something for me. And there was 8 groups or something like that, and they came with some fantastic music. It's unbelievable. So the level already of these, I would say, kids 16, 17 years old is unparalleled. So
and it's I had the same. I did it's called the Writers Camp.
Yeah.
And basically what I did, I had to make a song for Rihanna.
Yeah.
And then at one point, it really became a thing that it was growing and growing, and almost to the point that she was literally listening to the track.
That's
because
insane.
there were some people from Sony and also people from Armada.
Yeah.
And it's the wonderful thing also to work together with people you're normally not working with.
Yeah.
So a bass guitar player or a drummer or a singer or songer. And especially we did the International Writers Camp. So people from Berkeley, like from the UK or some other schools in Europe, they come and, I mean, we have one of the best.
Well, after working with all those kids, I realized that a lot of questions that you get also in interviews, you probably have the same. Why are Dutch musicians so successful? I think for the new generation, that's definitely the education that they're getting, because there's an opportunity that people go to school and actually learn the business in 4 years.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to sound old, but when I grew up, it was you had to learn everything yourself from books, and DAWs were developing really quickly. And if you see now how people are getting trained to become a professional musician, it's crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And even when I studied the whole e-music thing was only 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
And still some people.
So you were actually shaping up the education.
Yeah, actually, because now, when I was back there 2 years ago, I think I did a masterclass. The whole thing shaped differently. I was more of like, okay, maybe you can educate the people more from the beginning onwards, instead of only the last year where they need to, make a plan for the future, but just, help them. And they also ask for feedback a lot. And it's not your, literally, I always say, like, you're not a number, like a student number 1682 or whatever.
Yeah.
But the teachers, and also you see them when you go out. I'm still in touch with with one of my teachers now.
They must be really proud.
Yeah, no, it's cool to be together with those people, because that means something. And that's cool.
So before you went to that school, were you already producing dance music?
Yeah, I was, but I would say not on a professional level. And
still you managed to get in.
Sorry?
You still managed to get into school.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I was making music, and I had some help with some friends who were already busy with making music. Not for a living yet, but they were busy with it, and they showed me some tricks, and he was like, because one of the tests was mix a band or something, and then he told me a trick before, like, oh, maybe you can sidechain the drums and then the vocals and blah blah blah, and make sure your bass is in the middle and all those stuff, and
the basic things that you should know, and you wish you would have known when you started out.
True, yeah. Or it's a creative choice to mix your bass on the left.
So with the reverb. No, definitely. I think that's one of those things that, as a young producer, when you find out about sidechaining, that's a magical moment, though.
It's like
wow, suddenly it sounds good.
Still, for me, after this 4 years of conservatory, I didn't understand the purpose of a compressor yet.
Yeah.
And then the first year I was released of school, doing this studio thing every day, I was like,
you're like,
yeah.
Well, if we didn't have compression on this microphone, then it would have sounded weird, because like if I'm shouting or whispering, the volume is still higher.
It doesn't matter.
Same level. So that's the compression thing, I guess. That's how I always explain it. Like if I would scream into a microphone or whisper, the volume would still be the same. So it fixes the levels.
That's it.
Anyway, that's the
nerd stuff.
The nerd stuff right here. When you graduated, which year did you graduate from conservatory?
2018.
18. Yeah. So while you were in school, you released your first EP, I would say in 2016.
Yeah.
Hollt, Take It Back, You Don't Go.
Oh, wow.
On Meeting Crowds.
Yeah.
Was that the result of your first years of education on that school, that you were able to release something like that?
Yeah, I would say so. Like, I was doing some small festivals, like not big one, but actually a small one close to my school in Haarlem.
Mm-hmm.
And I met some wonderful people who I'm still working with today. And they actually got in touch with Jochem, which is Jochem Hameling from the Boom Room.
Yeah.
He got his own label back then, Meeting Crowds.
Yeah.
And yeah, like 1 + 1 was 2. And then we picked 2 songs which were fittable. And actually one of these tracks, a friend of mine is singing words, like speaking words on it. And then we thought like, okay, let's give it a shot. But I would say that it's one of the results of the growing way of being at the conservatory. Yeah.
Okay. Jochem, big shout out, by the way. Jochem.
Yeah.
I'm playing a remix of his of Ayla. It's amazing. So check it out maybe if you can. It's probably not released yet. So that was the first release. Following, you did a lot of releases by yourself on your own label, Die Stube, which you started also. With first release was Mislead.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to start your own music after 2 years of releasing music?
Well, actually, a beautiful way of releasing your own music is that you can do everything without like an A&R saying to you maybe this or that, or you can do everything yourself.
But sometimes you can't judge your own food, can you? As a chef?
Yeah. But it's
if you trust your process, then
But for us it was let's try it out, because there was not that much released already, and also we could build a platform for maybe other people, or it's just a fun way. Like you can do the whole social media part yourself. Actually, we started at the beginning with Rose is her name, and she drew all the cool artwork in combination of what I did with the backgrounds. And I mean, you can be creative in a more brighter way, like not only on music, but like on everything. And that's what I like. I'm a bit of a control freak.
Yeah. So you can control the whole process of the whole release rather than to give it to someone else.
Yeah, true.
What is the name for Die Stube? What does it stand for?
Actually,
sounds very German techno.
Yeah. Actually, we were chilling at my parents' backyard, and they have like a house over there. And my mom, she's always saying like, "Oh, this is our, I don't know, beach house. Let's chill in the beach house." And back then, I lived at my parents' place, and one of my friends, he was like, "No, this is not a beach house. This is Die Stube."
Die Stube. Okay.
So actually, we started the label also with. I started the label with 2 other friends, and one of the reasons why I did that was because of the name, and we thought it was funny. So we came up with the name. But actually, at the moment, we are I am thinking of maybe putting a different name on it, but it's a work in process.
To change the name of the label.
Yeah, the label, but also be more brighter again creatively with maybe in the end you want to have a label night, or you want to have some other people on the label as well. When it comes down to music, releasing music, I'm super critic. Like I think most of the producers, but also critic about the people who want to release on the label. And if I think the music is good, when I think of okay, I play this tune, then probably I can release it. But being a producer yourself and also being an A&R together, it's a new thing for me. But it's so much different because you need to look from the other side instead of.
Yeah. I know how it is with my label as well.
Yeah.
Are you just sometimes overthinking as well, putting out, because you say that you're a control freak, and what I was looking into when I prepared all of this is that you, for now this year, you only released 1 or 2 tunes.
Yeah.
Is that because you're too critical on your own music that you're like, okay, sometimes you need to scrap ideas and just not release it rather than...
Yeah. No, probably. I mean, actually, the last year for me, I've been more on the road than ever before, which is amazing. But also to deal with that, and also I shift to a new studio, which takes quite some time.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, of course, critical about myself that I need to on one hand to say like, okay, let's
release.
Yeah, let's release it. It's done.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, I'm like, okay, no, is this really what I want? Because now, because I'm more DJing and more playing live now, I'm more finding out what I really like and what I don't
what
like.
works on the dance floor.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's super interesting. And also to cope with, well, you guys know, with the flights and stuff and being away from home, and then to take your rest, go on the holiday.
We never do that.
No.
That's the worst, actually. Going on vacation is very important.
But working on the new stuff now.
Okay, that's good. Because on this tour so far, you've pretty much only released your own music. Well, you did something with Sandeep as well.
Sandeep, and we did a collaboration with Lake Avalon.
Lake Avalon, of course. Yeah,
which hit the 3 million 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, insane.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Yeah, well, Lake Avalon is on fire. The new tune that he made with HTI is coming soon on Spectrum, I think.
Yeah, I think you guys played it here. I saw a video.
Such a big tune.
Yeah.
Definitely. By the way, Sandeep, just going off track here, because if I go back to my youth, I remember when I was 17, 18 years old, I was part of a company called Equipolan, and we organized parties in Rotterdam, in the Nighttown, Las Palmas. And I remember working with Taras van der Voorde, and he was also good friends with Sandeep, so he played on some of our events as well. But this is like 2001 or 2 or something like that.
Yeah, he goes
back in the days.
way back.
And he was one of the leading progressive guys, so massive respect for Sandeep. And it's nice to see his name popping up in your career as well. That's fantastic.
I mean, I was a big fan of him, and then I went to one of his shows in the Toffler, and we were in the smoking area, and I was like, let's do a studio session together. And he looked at me like, oh, again.
One of those again.
But in the end, we made a lot of fun, which is important in the studio, and also we did some EPs together. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good to hear. What I want to, because you already say you have some collabs coming up, what you did with Lake Avalon, but you have some cooler stuff coming up as well.
Actually, right? This Monday, Hunter Game, one of the guys, are coming to fly over from Italy to be in the studio with me for a week.
Yeah,
and there's something coming up with Jonas Sabach as well.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm more now also in search of cool singers and songwriters.
Yeah, because that's one of the things that you wrote to me as well. Apparently, can we please do a shout out or something so we can find some vocalists?
I mean, it's the thing is for me with vocalists is that I don't want to have this perfect vocal. Like music is all about, like in my opinion, or in my way, in my kind of style, it's more about a feeling than almost the words, if I say it correctly. I actually sometimes have a vocal in my track with it, which I got from whatever Splice or whatever, and then my girlfriend is like, "You know what they say, right?" And I'm like, "No, not really caring."
Like a
about
recipe
it.
for spaghetti, something like that.
So it's for me, it's really about a feeling, but also the way of how they sing it, and of course I listen after a while to some lyrics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, So I'm reaching out, but also if people want to send me some stuff, I'm
Where
happy
can they
to
find you?
receive. On Instagram, I think it's best. Slide in my DM.
Nice. Now, you performed live here in the studio because you don't do DJ sets, I think. You created something yourself because, like I said, you're quite an engineer, I guess. You were like, okay, DJing is not for me, or DJing is differently for me.
Yeah,
you created something very special, the Hollt Sizer. Tell us about it.
Actually, I like to do it both. So sometimes when I play 3 or 4 live sets, then I'm happy to do a DJ set the week after
to keep it fresh for yourself.
I mean, I love to play the music from other people because that also gives you new creative flow. But the Hollt Sizer was basically a study project on the conservatory. So I had to do, in my last year, I had to come up with a way to finish the conservatory. And one thing which came to mind for me was making an album, playing 10 songs as a DJ, and then a jury can curate, and then you get a grade and blah blah blah. But actually, then I was like, I love.
It's too easy.
Yeah, it's maybe too easy. But I'm a big fan of Kink, and I visited this show for 2-3 times, and I'm not sure if you know him, Kink, but he's crazy. Like he's making big moves, and he has like some wireless interfaces, and then he gives the crowd like a thing to slap on, and then when the people hear that it's working, like that, it's really a thing you hear coming out of the big speakers. And that was something which I wanted to do. So actually, in the first semester of this last year, I had to do a live set, but I messed it up massively because of all the wires were like connected loosely. Like I had a hard drive with me. That's the stupidest thing you can do during a live set. My laptop wasn't charging, and then I found out like, okay, when I want to graduate, I want to have like a box.
So this was your first test that you brought out all these gear and do a live set.
And I had so I came up with the idea to make one box, which I can bring to everything, and then I can only plug one USB and one power cable to the machine. And then it must work. Plug and play. Because, when you got shifts in a DJ setup to a live setup, you always see a lot of struggle, and then you see a lot of
sound engineers running up and down.
Crazy stage managers who stress out, and then I came up with the name of the Hollt Sizer. Well, actually, not me, but I placed a video on Facebook, and that one went like super viral. Like insane.
What is this dude doing?
Like there were more than 200,000 views after 24 hours. Wow. And it blew my mind. And then I wrote in the comments like, thanks for all the comments, but can you give me a name of the thing? And then someone said like Hollt Sizer.
Instead of ding, ding, ding,
synthesizer, blah, blah, blah. So that was amazing. And actually this is the second one you're looking at right now, because the previous one was too big. I went to it to Lebanon to play, and also to Malta. And actually back then, at first there was also a piano inside. When I arrived, the piano was broken, so I couldn't play the piano anymore. And after the second trip, I think the right side of the machine was falling apart.
Because you put it in check luggage.
Yeah. And I think it was 27 kilograms.
Oof.
Yeah, and this one now it's 11 or 12. So I built one suitcase, and it's perfectly fittable for hand luggage.
So in essential, is it a MIDI controller?
Yeah. It's a MIDI controller controlling my Ableton Live set. And
maybe you can show it a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Let me throw up the
other mic.
I'll open the microphone over there, so you can talk there as well.
So actually, what I did was it's just one box now, and
you created everything yourself.
Well, actually, yeah, I found some good engineers around me.
Yeah.
And so I found someone who made the wooden side panels.
Yeah.
I found a party who made like the boards inside, and then a good friend of mine, he built like this Arduino based display. It's actually a display which does allow me to put away the Ableton my screen from my laptop.
Close your laptop if
I like. Which is a beautiful thing, because I did some research back then also to look to some other people who are playing live. And actually 1/3 of the whole set, the guy was looking to his laptop, which is, it's
not what you want to see.
No, you want to interact with the crowd.
Yeah.
And for me to only look down fast instead of looking to your laptop, you're gone for 5 seconds or so.
Yeah.
So we built a display where I can see all the information. Actually, let me try to see if you guys can hear this. Let me put everything right. But I got actually where is it? Here.
Ah, there we go.
Let me check. A lot of knobs. Almost.
So just before we recorded this podcast, Kian and Floris were playing with that Hollt side. So I think there's a lot of knobs that are just not in the position that they're supposed to be. So not for sale at Toys R Us, by the way.
Okay, perfect. Now we got something to work with.
Yeah.
So actually, I got my kick on the first scene, and then I got my drums.
So the knobs that you twist are channels, basically.
Yeah. That's what I have for the moment. Actually, in the end, I want to be more flexible. So I'm for the nerds, it's called MOX For Life, which is inside of Ableton a way to make your own configuration, let's say. And this whole HTI Sizer is based on MOX For Life, which is allowing me to do more functionality with the software I'm working with. Yeah. But it's a constant development. Like actually during COVID, I dived into this whole process, and I love to nerd, so it's amazing. But I want to go. There's a lot of things I want to do more. There's a sequencer running now, but in Chord Central, like I have my backing track, and then I can do some snare rolls.
Oh yeah.
Make some crazy build-ups. I can shakers and stuff, kicks, some heavy low toms.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and this for me, this is the light, the epic part.
Is that the filter?
Yeah,
and it's connected to the light I just saw.
Yeah, so that's true. Actually, what I wanted to do, I mapped it like what I did is to the cutoff of the synth.
Yeah,
and then the lights, they go brighter or darker depending on the status of the synth.
So is it for the future, because you're triggering MIDI? Is it also an idea of you to, for example, connect visuals and stuff to
actually, when I did my graduation, the whole thing was synced. So lights, visuals, audio, like everything. Even when I was doing something on the piano, because it was the first HTI Sizer, I placed a camera on top of me. And then every time when I was playing something on the piano, you saw it on a big screen behind me.
So it was triggering.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it knew, okay, when I enter this clip, then it's an amazing thing. And I hope actually to see more people experiment with visuals, because in the end, and what you see now these days is that it's all about.
Well, just look at Anima or Tale of Us.
True, yeah, and it's all about the. It's not only what you hear; it's what you see. It's what you feel. It's you know. So I think people now are seeing way more and more that you know, if you sync the visuals with something what you hear, but then in the end, not to have like 6 people doing this for you, but you can do this all by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you have an external computer running the visuals, you can trigger everything with MIDI, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm looking into that as well with a friend of mine, Jimmy, and he's. So I'm just wondering, like, all these people that write all these scripts is just insane. It must be a lot of fun being able to do that.
Yeah, and there's way more programs available to you know, to get to the point what you want to do, and there's.
And that's how you beat AI. There you go.
Actually, yeah.
Incorporating AI into your performances to beat AI.
Yeah.
That's basically how it is. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Besides that, you also created a tool that I'm using a lot, actually, the TRNs, the Trance 2.0.
Yeah.
So that's a MOX For Life thing also.
Yeah, I think I sent you one of the first tryouts. Is that I put a plugin online which allows, again, a function inside of Ableton which wasn't there before. And still I've a lot of stuff which I'm still keeping for myself, and then some friends are coming in and they're like, you need to put this out because some other people like this as well. It's with colors, but it's all very handy. Or let's say, it's coming in place.
I've had the pleasure to sit with you in the studio 4 years ago.
Yeah, time flies.
And I had to say I was impressed also by the way that how you are incorporating shortcuts and just to make things more logical and more fast in the ways you work on certain things. I think that's so I understand that you're working with people that are saying like, hey, you have to put this on the market. Or
it's
like that.
You know, in the end, you have to imagine yourself like being in a band. If you're in a band, the guitar player holds the guitar, the singer can sing right along, like immediately.
Yeah.
For us, it's actually the same. And the thing with creativity is that it comes and then it goes. Like it's going super fast. So shortcuts, I think, you know, you need to know your shortcuts. I back then had a teacher who was almost slapping on your fingers when you did something with the mouse. Like the old days. And actually, but he's true. It's true because you want to be on it all the time. And I mean, for me, workflow is number one in the studio, always.
As long as it doesn't hold back on any creativity that you have in mind. Yeah, that's a fair point. Well, let's see if there's any questions. E. Koning wants to know if there's any new tracks coming out soon.
Working on it.
Is there something more coming in the fall? Some more music?
Yeah, probably, yes. We are talking right now to do something very special for a track which is actually out there for already a long time.
Yeah.
Like more than a year now, but still not released. And I got a lot of questions about this. But yeah, maybe this is...
Stuff is coming.
Yeah.
All right. I think a certain remix that you played on the show. BU fan for life 63 wants to know who are your biggest influences?
Oof. I'm a big fan of Maceo Plex back then, but still, I mean, what he is doing and what he's achieving to be following his own path and still being there all the time. That's a big example for me.
Yeah. I think he inspired a whole generation of producers.
Yeah.
To be honest. Carlos Diaz wants to know when you're coming back to Belgium. Oh, you just did Tomorrowland, so there you go.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right, that rounds off the questions that came in from the fans. I would like to thank you for coming by, explaining a little bit more. And of course, thank you also for the amazing music that you're putting out and that we love here on the show as well.
Thanks.
So I hope to see you very soon on the dance floor or maybe here back in the studio.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
There you go. Thanks so much once again also for watching this podcast. If you like it, make sure to subscribe and to leave a like and leave a comment. And I'll see you next time for a new podcast. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in. Check all previous episodes on YouTube or your favorite podcast portal.